jammed in reverse. But now I'll give it a wriggle and it came out. So I can select all four now and reverse. So when I have an opportunity, I'll start it up, get it warm, do another lap of the block, make sure I've still got the gear selection. So hopefully that's all we're going to do. You mentioned Ev, that the battery keeps going flat. Now I confirmed that I've charged the battery 3 times so far. So what I've done is done a current draw test, and with everything switched off we have 0.15 of an amp. Now Minis don't have anything to run, don't have clocks or computers or anything like that, so that should be 0. So I believe I found the culprit for our current draw. That pin there, one with the black on it. I've disconnected the connection on the back of the ignition switch, and once I've done that, our current draw is now 0. That's what it should be. It's the power supply to the gauges. These fellas here. That one and the one on the other side. That's battery consistent power. We need to get rid of that. That's our current draw. That's what's setting the battery flat. So probably what I may do is run them from off the back of that switch and maybe run it off of here. Use that for the power supply for the gauges, because then it'll be activated when the key's on. That's what we need, I think. The auxiliary fuse panel full. Gauges are now powered from here. Took a quick look at the linkages on the box. So you can see there I go from first to second, third, fourth, down to reverse. Back out, down to reverse, in and out of reverse seems to be fine. And go through the box, then down to reverse, and it balks. So just do a bit slow mo, a bit closer. You see it just jams there, just momentary. Then out of reverse. I think we might have an interlock problem. Hopefully it'll wear in. That's my plan, is to operate the gearbox a few times, see what happens. So I'm under the front of the car, having a look at the these caster bushes, these bushes that need to rectified. Just looking around. Notice this mark here up on the rotor. You see up there, shiny bit. Oh, I don't know if I can get it in the image, but that caliper bolt, that one right there, it's too long. It's poking into the rotor. What I've just noticed is see under the head of the bolt, that one has a washer. This one is missing a washer. That's why it's digging into the rotor. So take that out, find a washer and stick it under there. We'll have to live with that because that's a big job to do, machine that up. That'll be a future job once we get the car on the road and a few kilometres on it. There we go. Washer on there. No more binding on the rotor. We have clearance. Little job done. First one rectified there, Nev. That's the original urethane bush that was on the car when you've put it together. It's a new washer, the new nylock nut, the new bush. I've retained the original washer and nut. That's now got thread lock on it as well. So that's been out, put back in exactly the same position. So I've measured from that ball joint position all the way to here. That was 401 millimeters. Taking it out, this has now been turned back at probably 10, 12 rotations to take the tension off that bush. That bush was well over tightened. It's probably been adjusted to make some caster position, over tighten this, not back that off enough. So that's what I've done. So you've got to have some crush here, some crush here, but not like it was where it squished the bush out. So this side's rectified. Next, over there. This side needs a little bit more attention. This is that bush that was really squashed and it's well and truly out of shape. I did find that's the washer that was on there. I don't believe it's the correct one because it's too thin. I did have these ones, so that's almost twice as thick, probably at least twice as thick. I've resized it so it'll fit on that shaft correctly. So it'll be a new one of them. New one of those bushes you supplied, Nev. I'll put that urethane one back in because I like them at the front. And I'll replace that with that. That'll go on there. It'll make up that pack. We'll put it on. There you go, mate. That's the other side done. Rods in, nylock, thread lock on this one. Bolt's a little bit short, so thread lock. New washer, nuts tied up. It's got enough crush on that bush, it doesn't need any more than that. That one's tight, and we've got the measurement I've taken before. This side was 405mm from here to there. So they're both the same now. So while I've got the wheels up, I'm going to have a look around and make sure everything's tight. I've got washers and things like that. So this one was missing a washer. So when I looked through my drawer bits and pieces, found a washer. So I'll get this one back together and keep progressing. I remember spotting these in the box of bits and pieces you dropped over with the car, Nev. So I'm guessing they're to replace these ones. They're a bit flat. The other one on the other side I've already done. The other one's pretty knackered, as you can see. So new one, I'll stick it in for you. New bump stops in. Found a couple of new bolts, put them in as well. Happened to be Ford, but I don't think she'll mind too much. While I was under here, I figured I'd give it a bit of a clean down. So I sprayed some brake cleaner from up the top all the way down the bottom. This bolt here was loose too, so I've nipped that up. Now it's all been washed down. We may have an indication. We got a couple of drips coming down from up here somewhere. Hopefully it was the fact that bolt may not be sealed properly. It might be weeping through the thread, but we'll see. Did you see that gasket move at the end of my finger? Maybe that's our weep. I'll have to have a look at that too. Give us some time. A little bit further forward.